Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome everybody around the world. This is the Welch Report. That's right with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Make some noise, clap it up, get excited wherever we are back with another action-packed show for you today. And my goodness, we got so much breaking in the world of sports, boxing, and beyond. It is a cavalcade of information with fights getting announced and stuff when anything was going to happen actually happened, with the biggest of which being Teofimo Lopez is fighting Devin Haney. Can you believe it? I was shocked when I saw the news when it broke. Was it late last night, maybe early this morning, whatever the world it broke, and also trying to make sure it was true. Seems like it's real. Seems like this ain't a fluke. And this is happening, and we got so many reactions. Should this even be happening? How did T.E.O. get into position when we thought the fight in his whole career was potentially going awry? Now, seemingly, hey, he proved us wrong, and brother, it worked. It worked. Can you believe it? The actual way to succeed may just be acting like the worst human being in existence. Who would have thought? But oh my gosh, we got so much to cover. We want to hear your thoughts on the show as well, and everything that we discussed right here on YouTube. And I almost forgot the intro. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. This is the Welch Report. I'm your Jean-Luc Welch. We do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and now officially every Friday, where we talk about boxing, basketball, in the wider array of the sports landscape. And if you're here, leave a like on the stream if you're listening. Comment your thoughts and opinions on everything that we discussed right here on the show. We can bring it up in the chat for you to be able to have your voice seen and heard throughout the masses right here on YouTube. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you know every single time we're posting on YouTube and whatever we do on this channel, and share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together and making this the best that it can be for all of our sports media needs. That's right. We are looking to be one of the hottest growing shows in all of the airways, both on podcasts and on YouTube. And hey, we can't do it without your support and help. So please support the channel, support the show, share it with everybody, like the streams, and hey, get involved with the community, because we got the best community in the world. Because this is the hottest show in all the globe, no question about it. We're happy to be with you. But my goodness, we got so much to cover in a short amount of time to do it. And so let's almost forgot. If you stay to the end of the show, we also got a segment called the Championship Rounds, where when you hear this, see the banner and hear the bell, it's anything and everything that you want to discuss, whatever you want to talk about in the framework of sports or beyond, or anything we didn't get to discuss that you wanted to have questions, comments, debates, dream fights, concerns, thoughts on the NBA, thoughts on the NFL coming up, thoughts on new information that maybe we don't know about, the ramifications of boxing. All for it. Want to hear your thoughts, want to hear your opinions, want to hear your voice, and want to hear what you got to say. But with all that being said, we got a show to do. We got boxing to cover first and foremost. Since we're talking about boxing, it's time to step into the ring. Nope, wrong button. There we go. Yes, sir, that's right. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one of the show going underway. Excuse me real quick before you even get started. I need to make sure that my camera is working or looking proper. We don't want nothing looking awry. We try to keep it as professional as can be. But again, with the first topic of this show going underway, we must discuss. We have to. It would be against our prerogative not to go over the biggest breaking news happening in boxing right now, which is seemingly TEO versus Haney is official. My goodness. Can't shock and awe. Utter disbelief. Can't believe my eyes and ears. And again, we're waiting on official outright words of, yeah, this is happening but from about every major social media outlet that covers boxing. TEO versus Haney seems to be a legitimate done deal. It's happening. It is something that we had talked about. We discussed it was either going to be TEO versus Boots or TEO versus Haney. The Haney versus TEO. One of the gripes was that Haney felt he wasn't getting enough money from that fight that he would have gotten from Boots, so he felt slighted. Also, he had some issues lots of issues with Turkey Al Sheik going at him on Twitter, being disrespectful, all that stuff, and seemingly losing the favor or outright the opportunity to be able to get these major fights that we all want to see. But now, seemingly from the depths of despair, everything's been rectified, and the fight now is back on to everybody's shock. How could this take place? Because it seems to be a complete 180 from what we had shown with the last time we talked about TEO, with him being essentially, I ain't apologizing for nothing. Can't nobody control me. I do what I want. Really acting out. Playing into that villain role, but in a very much volatile sentiment. Going egregious with the racism, with the spectacle, the seemingly belligerent just buffoonery that would take place on I believe it was an Instagram Live, maybe Twitter Live, whatever live platform he was on. And his Twitter rants have become synonymous with entertainment, but also just outright shock and awe in the worst way possible. Aimed at Turkey Al Sheik, as we know, that we discussed, and now seemingly it's back. And the fight is going to happen. Two of some of the bigger stars in all of boxing are going to get it on, both off of very interesting performances, to say the least, with Devin Haney coming off of that very abysmal, horrible, terrible, absolutely diabolical performance against the likes of Jose Ramirez, which has a lot of people turning their back on him. But Teofimo Lopez, who had the best fight of the night on that card in New York City, though he wasn't the main headliner, one of the three, he now is on the forefront to get the fight with Haney and potentially do what, honestly, if I can be completely honest, this ain't good for Haney. I'm going to be real. I'm really going to be real. And this is great for Teo. For everything that we talked about last week, this is bad for Haney, and this is great for Teo. And Teo successfully talked his way from what looked like self-sabotage into self-elevation to get this fight to actually be made happen. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. It's like, what? Really? After everything that he said, after everything he discussed, after everything that we saw, witnessed going through all throughout social media, hey, he proved me wrong. That's the best thing. That's all I can say. He proved me wrong. He knows what he's doing. I still don't agree with how he got here. I still don't agree with what got him to this point. But I will say this, it worked. Being in the news, being in the media, being so volatile and so reckless, I was so sure that it was going to ruin any opportunity to actually get the fight, or any fight, any major fight, to help push and bolster his career. But now, that is no longer the case. And now we potentially get to see Devin Haney be the stepping stone that Teofimo Lopez have been looking for to finally reach that zenith of consistent star power, not just from a volatile or reckless nature that, you can't miss TV on top of your fighting. But now if you get Devin Haney on your resume, on top of having Lomachenko on your resume, on top of being, I believe, formerly undisputed, and being one of the more entertaining boxers in all of 140, a division that now looks very much shaky, with the tops not looking anywhere close to what they should be, Teo being the only consistent thing. Oh, shoot. This is exactly what he's been looking for. This is the truth. This is what he's been looking for. This is the chance that he has been waiting on for this at this point in his career, to finally take that step to being, yes, he's already a known name, but now as one of the more entertaining and well-known and consistently talked about stars for the right reasons. Now this is where that run really does begin. Again, we talked about Teofimo Lopez before. It's a start and stop journey for how Teo's been going through his career. It's had some incredible highs and some very damaging lows. He beat Lomachenko early. And so in a fight that, was helped, not just helped put him on the map, but was the off of the knockout of the year that he had gotten prior to that fight with Lomachenko. That was it. It was the bread and butter. It was the stamping that everybody was saying. This guy is the next generation that's going to take over the takeover, as we talked about, as we constantly hear as his moniker. That's the truth. But then lost to Kambosos. Genuine. Even with the health problems that he had in the midst of that fight. Lost to Kambosos. Then goes on and struggles, and I feel lost, to Sandor Martin. And many people ask, he lost to Jermaine Ortiz. So all of a sudden, multiple instances of not looking great, not looking good, not looking consistently the way that we thought T was going to pan out to be. Oh, and also, we got people in the chat. What's up, Al Booga? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. Justin Kemp, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Glad that you're here. Glad that y'all are tuning into the show. We got everything working, and we rocking and rolling. We talking about the reaction of TEO and Haney seemingly being official, seemingly from the depths of despair. It has come to light that fight is officially going to take place on August 16th. I almost forgot to say the date. That fight is going to take place on August 16th. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. It's happening. It is transpiring. From about every outlet I've been able to find, this seems real. This seems consistent. This seems legitimate. And this is the fight that we were talking about. Could happen. Would potentially get taken away. Now, however, it's back. It's here. It's official. And we are seemingly going to have it happen over in Saudi Arabia on August 16th for a very, honestly, the ramifications of that fight are indeed incredibly interesting. But before I get to that, let me continue with my last point I was talking about before we go through. And again, I want to hear your thoughts on all of this that you have with your reactions in regards to this fight seemingly actually coming to fruition and actively taking place on August 16th. It's insane. But real quick, to finish my last point, as we're talking about how TEO got here, as we're talking about how he's had a lot of ups and downs throughout his career, now he is back on that upward trend. He's back on that rise. Again, the last two fights he had been on, he had won comfortably, and he was already eking up to that threshold of, okay, we got TEO back. He's a consistent TEO. Seemingly, he's getting better and better. Everything seems to be working out great on that trajectory. Even up into the, even up into the New York car. Now, before that, had some downs because of the old Keyshawn Davis situation. Self-sabotage, shooting himself in the foot, becoming really much hated, vilified by a lot of the public for a understandable reason. But still, was able to overcome it with the performance that he had against Barboza. Then afterwards, the stuff with Terrence Crawford and more of the racism stuff. Then with Turkey Al Sheikh just recently, shooting down again. And it was a risky game. It was a very risky game. An incredibly risky game that he was trying to play. I don't even know if he was trying to play. That might just be him. But regardless of which, seemingly, we're here. We're here and it worked. And now that we're here, touching on the fight specifically, I originally said this is bad for Haney and good for TEO. And that still both true right now. Because with Haney, he's on his last legs. And with TEO, he is at the precipice of breaking out like he's been wanting to break out. Because he can't lose this fight. He can't. Nor can he fight like he did against Jose Ramirez. Because he won't get the benefit of he won't get the luxury of voting that he got against a slow-footed, flat-footed, old, very much past his athletic prime and lacking in footwork ability of Jose Ramirez. Now going up against TEO. This is one of the matchups that I was hoping Haney never got. And again, I'm not a Haney fan, nor am I trying to be a Haney hater, but I'm trying to be real. For Haney's own career, this was not the fight that he wants, especially if he's trying to still get that moneymaker with the likes of Ryan Garcia, which we still could see that fight happen later on down the line. But as of right now, this Haney and that list that he's put out, that Bill Haney put out on Twitter, we discussed that in the past. I believe TEO was on that list. TEO ain't one of the people that he wants to fight. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. Not in my estimation. Because while we know that TEO has struggled against the likes of movers, like with Sandor, like with Ortiz, and absolute. Those fighters were also more offensively oriented. Though they were, again, moving, check hooking, pot shotting, and jabbing, yes. But they were throwing a lot more than what we see Devin Haney do. The offense was able to score and move. Devin Haney moves more than he does try to score, especially after what we saw last fight. And if that's the case, on top of the physicality that we know we can see Teofimo use, and the athletic ability to be able to keep up, if not potentially outmatch the likes of Haney, but Haney's in a bad way. Haney's in a bad state. Haney's in a real dilemma where he could potentially be done. And I said initially, if this fight does happen, Haney's getting knocked out. Or at least I feel he's going to get knocked out, or at least he's going to get beat cleanly. Because there is everything that Haney struggled with against the likes of Ryan Garcia. It's the very thing that we can see him struggle with against Teofimo Lopez. But now he's got somebody that can box with him. Both just straight up skill and also with speed and fleet of footness. Just natural given ability. He can do it on both ends. We've seen him do it on multiple occasions. We have seen, yes, he looks better against people that come forward. No question. But he can hunt you down. He can track you down. Especially if you ain't got the offensive array to be able to do something to frustrate him. Though we know Devin Haney's an incredibly frustrating guy. Absolutely. And the way that he fights makes people really, again, you don't want, many people don't want to fight him because you will look bad fighting him. And you'll lose in a fashion that ain't even exciting, nor makes you look like you're worth anything. Because, he's moving all around, and you aren't able to touch him because you can't, either with your footwork or with your skill, you can't match him. He'll beat you. But now if you can match him in one department or another, there's a real discrepancy that Haney can have some trouble with. And that's what we can see Teofimo bring to the table against Devin Haney. And this would be Haney's potentially, this could be really bad. This could be really bad. Not to mention the aspect of, with all the mess that Teo's been talking, let's be real about it. A lot of people want some brothers to come and beat up on Teo. Part of the reason why people were using people wanted Boots to fight Teo was because of all the racial rhetoric that we had seen Teo use against Terrence Crawford and against a bunch of other people. And now, Boots, if you're gonna move up if you're gonna move up to 147 to fight Boots, well, Boots is an easy win, and you can finally shut this cat up that we've been trying to get quiet for who knows how long. Also, Jay Will, what's good with you? How you doing? Hey, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. If you're here, since you're here, leave a like on the stream. Go ahead, leave a like and keep on commenting and chatting in the chat so we can make sure that we see what you got to say and continue to help make this show better and better by having your voice as a legitimate means of conversation. Oh, yes, indeed. We can make it happen. But thanks for tuning in. Glad to see that you're here. But we want, many people, I say we as in a lot of the boxing public, wanted to see Teo get shut up because of all the stuff he was talking. They thought Boots would be the main antithesis to make that happen. Now, Haney's going to be the guy that again, is going out and saying, hey, I'm going to handle Teo. Don't worry. I got him. And many of the public really doesn't feel that that is a confident showing.
Hey, we got some problems here.
Oh Lord.
We got some problems
here. If people want to see Teo get his comeuppance, this ain't the fighter to make that happen, is it? No. Let's be real. This ain't the fighter that we want to say, hey, yo, this buddy, he been going against the black community and all that stuff, and we need to stand up and we need to shut this guy down. Hey, Devin Haney, have at it. We ain't saying that, are we? Because we know. TEO, he may say a bunch of mess, but the brother is he's still one of them ones as a fighter. And Haney just showed that he ain't. For a lot of people. So it's like, ooh, shoot. If people wanted to stop what we see with the likes of Teofimo Lopez of recent, this ain't the buddy that we actually send out, but it's the buddy that we got right now. So hey, for a lot of people, some people are disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, but regardless of which, I'm excited because this is just a fight to finally get them fighting against each other. That's what I'm waiting on for the longest time. It's gonna be crazy. TEO versus Devin card and Tank versus Welch rematch are all going to be on August 16th. I know, man. There's been a bunch of fights that's happening on the scene. Isn't whatchamacallit? What is it? Usyk Dubois? No, excuse me. Different day. My bad. My apologies. Scratch that. I forget I said anything. There's a lot of fights that are happening back to back to back or very close to each other, if not on the same day. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see what transpires and how, who's going to get, well, actually, I answered my own question. I was going to ask who's going to get more eyes on the fight live if it's happening at the same time. It's going to be Tank and Roach. Let's be real. Let's be real about that. It's going to be Tank and Roach. They're going to get more eyes on that fight than Haney versus TEO. I promise you. I promise you that. But it's still going to be insane trying to keep up with both at the same time. Let me see. TEO Sr. and Bill Haney, some training matchup. Brother, the trash talk is going to be, the build up is going to be insane. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be, in fact, weren't we saying, I think we had said this a while ago. I may be wrong. Weren't we saying that this could be one of the best build-ups of a fight if we get Haney and TEO going up against each other? Because their dads will be genuinely so insane all throughout the months that they will make people want to tune in just for the sake of, hey, whose dad is wrong? It might be a bigger beef between them as trainers than between TEO and Haney as actual fighters. It's gonna be ridiculous, and it's wild. All I can say is it's wild. Sergey, what's good with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. If you would, leave a like on the stream since you're here. Comment your thoughts and opinions. We're reacting to all of this, and we still got more to touch on in the show. Don't forget, we got Keyshawn Davis, Fabio Wardley, Jaya Pataya, and who's another? But who's the fourth cat that's fighting this week as well? Nakatani. My goodness, all fighting this Saturday. Can you believe it? It's insane. This fight week is ridiculous. And so we got a lot to cover. No question about it. Boys Be Crying, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning into the show. We appreciate you coming through on the show. Let's see. Yaniels Hernandez last round. I've seen it for like 10 times already. He posed as the villain and walked Cameron Davis down like he was playing. Nah, look, hey. We're going to talk about that card and that fight later on in the show. Hernandez, hey, here's the truth. He showed me something. He showed me some good stuff. I'm now excited to see what this brother does as he continues to go forward in his career. He did. I wasn't as familiar with the cat. I'm familiar with him now. Oh yeah. I'm gonna keep my eyes on this brother. Because this man, he can do some damage. Hernandez can do some real damage. This is my first time seeing him. So, and against somebody who was able to go against Benavidez, gauging the type of performance, again, against a all-time great of this era in David Benavidez, understandable. He's not Benavidez, but showed some real promise. But he was early in his career. I'm going to keep an eye on this, but it's not Hernandez. Yeah, you weren't lying. This brother is something serious. No question about it. And so let's see. Devin Haney going to take a page out of Jermaine Ortiz's playbook and try to beat TEO. He is. But I don't think he'll be successful in doing so. But we'll touch on that later on. Let me see. August 16th, Hamzat Chimaev versus, DDP? Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Tank versus Roach 2, Haney versus TEO, and the undercards will be insane. It'll be a busy day. Busy day. Glad the Haney fights in Saudi. Oh, wait. Oh, because the Haney fights in Saudi Arabia, it's going to come on in the middle of the day, ain't it? Oh, wait a minute. So we'll be able to catch everything. Oh, shoot. If I got my time zones correctly. And again, Michelle, if you're here, brother, in college, hopefully you're doing well. If you're tuning into the show, if I got my time zones wrong, because I know you live over there, hey, my bad. Excuse me. Don't kill me. We room together. But I'm sorry that time was passed me by. But if I'm thinking what I'm thinking is right, that fight's happening in midday. Just about roughly midday. So we would still get to see all the other fights at the end of the day. Ooh, that ain't bad. Oh, that ain't bad at all. But I'll tell you what, either people are going to be spending a lot of money or bars are going to be packed from dawn till dusk because people are going to be staying all day to see all these fights take place. Absolutely. It's going to be exciting. No question about it. And so, but look, what was the comment that we had earlier? Which one it was? Somebody said it. Who was it? Here we go. No, that wasn't it. Devin's going to take a page out of Jermaine Ortiz's playbook. I don't think he'll be able to as effectively because of what I said earlier, and it might have been before you got in here, or it could have been while you were here. I can't remember. But Jermaine Ortiz was able to be as successful as he was due to his offensive output on top of his boxing, even against a threat like Teofimo Lopez. And we've already discussed that, yes, TEO does struggle against movers. We understand that. But there is also, both in Sandor Martin and in Ortiz, they were both actively throwing and actively putting in some level of offensive work to score and move. They would stand in place at times, not just sit and counter. They would take risks and take chances in their defensive responsibility and be successful. It wasn't what we saw with Haney last time out. And mind you, this was Haney against a flat-footed fighter who he was essentially scared to really mix it up with at all, any way, shape, or form. Even after he knew you're too slow for me to be in danger. From the sense of I know what to do to get out. And still he put on that type of lackluster performance. Going up against a real threat like TEO, who can match you yourself in both physicality and has the footwork to keep up with you. And you potentially are going to be timid to throw and be offensive at all if he does walk and stalk you, like he tried to do against Jermaine Ortiz. It can be more successful. One, because this Teofimo Lopez is, as a fighter, more altogether there than he was between that Sandor and Ortiz era when he was somewhat questioning himself, asking what the word am I supposed to be? Do I still got it? All those types of questions. That's not in the mind of TEO anymore. Outside stuff, understandable. In the ring, we don't question that. Because we now see, okay, yeah, he's got it all together. This TEO is a better fighter than Devin Haney. No question about it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be privy to say he's always been better than Teofimo Lopez. Seriously. And now, with where they are at in their respective careers, especially with us seeing them literally back to back on the same night, I don't have confidence in Devin Haney at all going up against the likes of Teofimo Lopez. Me personally, this was one of the matchups that I was saying he doesn't need to have. Because he can both get outboxed and beaten up in the same night. Because he's going to be scared to throw. That's the real concern. That's the real concern, at least for me. Let me see. Albert Wheel, what's good with you? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in to the show. So if it's in Saudi, do you think Turkey forgave TEO? Though Turkey fired him, I think he did. And I think I forgot. I was supposed to touch on this earlier. I forgot to, my bad. But Haney and TEO is happening because TEO apologized. I'm so serious. And that's not even me trying to make up stuff. I'll pull up the tweet right now. Let me see. TEO. Teofimo Lopez apology. Where's it at? He was all over on Twitter. It's all of it. I'll pull it up right now to show you. This is this was the reason why this fight is even happening. Because Teofimo Lopez actively said, hey, I'm sorry. And I messed up. Mind you, he went through saying, hey, I got fired. I was essentially annexed from what's going on with the likes of shoot, I'm trying to get my words here. Essentially annexed from what's going on with the Ring magazine and with Turkey Out Sheik and all the stuff that he's got going on with putting fights together. And he said he wouldn't apologize, but lo and behold, after you pull up the old picture, is it? You can read it right here. To His Excellency Turkey Out Sheik, I fully take responsibility for my inappropriate actions on the X-App. I publicly apologize to he. I will conduct myself in greater respect, humility, and professionalism, sending all love and light to all. Thank you. With the various hashtags and all. He did what he said he wouldn't do. He did literally what he gave gripes to for people like Shakur and others doing when they did similar stuff. Maybe not as egregious, but similar stuff to the likes of Turkey Out Sheik and the whole promotion. It's really simple. It is really simple. When it comes to Turkey, he doesn't do disrespect. He gets that fighters are fighters. Everybody's a person. He gets it. But personal disrespect, he doesn't rock with it. It just doesn't work with you if you're going to act like it. If you apologize, okay, cool. Let's turn over a new leaf. Let's do what we do best, which is make money and make fights. It's very simple. It ain't something to where it's, oh, somebody's kissing the ring, somebody's doing this, that, and the third. Any promoter would act that same way if somebody was being so belligerently disrespectful, genuine. And so it ain't like, oh, it's some seedy underbelly of stuff. For the whole of this time amongst the promotion, it hasn't been like that. It's literally been just don't be stupid, and you'll get the fights against fighters that will bring you money, legacy, and bigger and better opportunities down the line if you're successful. Even if you lose, you will still get a chance to be a star because you'll still get second chances, and you are a fan-friendly fighter, which is even better. So we'll keep putting you on display. Your career ain't done just because you lose something. Look at Martin McCauley, perfect example. This is what we're talking about. And he did what he said he wouldn't do. And now, Turkey's all well and good with him, or at least working with them again. So it's really simple. He apologized. Turkey now is working right with them, accepted it, and now we move on. So, thankfully, this is why we get the fight that we get. So that's why we see this fight actually happening. I'm giving Devin Haney 1 to 2 more fights to recover. It can take a while to come back. Remember, Lennox Lewis took a while to get himself back after he got KO'd by Oliver McCall. Understandable. However, this fight is next. This fight is next this year. Devin Haney ain't taking no other fight. Almost assuredly. And so it's going to be like, there's no time to get better outside of what you showed last time out and what you do in the gym. Because it's here now. He should have taken another fight, especially after that performance. He should have taken anything. To at least give the fans some level of confidence. Okay, hey, that fight was a fluke. At least we're back to the Devin Haney of old. And we got that together. No. This Devin Haney ain't even the Devin Haney that we used to see. This ain't even the Haney that we saw against Kim Bosos. This ain't even the Haney that we saw against Lomachenko. This wasn't that at all. No, sir. And because of that, I ain't got no confidence in Haney versus TEO. I do not. This has been the fight that I've been saying to Haney, don't do. I think TEO loses if he fights TEO next. Yes, absolutely. He loses if he fights against TEO. TEO can do everything that Haney does. But he's more athletic than Haney. He's stronger than Haney. He is a better puncher than Haney. And he's got better instincts than Haney. Do you know why we were talking about Boots versus TEO? Well, not just because it was a rumored fight, but because TEO and Boots were the closest thing they had experienced to a mirror of each other. Not saying that TEO would beat or is better than Boots, but Teofimo as an athletic freak of nature at 135, 140, and potentially if he moved up to 147. There's nobody else in the division like that. There's nobody else in the division like TEO. There isn't. He's a 1-on-1 in the division. Boots is a 1-on-1 in the ranks of 147. The only two people that have that similar instance of, oh, he's different type of feeling when you watch them fight are each other. And they never face off against somebody that has that similar level of, oh, they're just a different type of aura or sentimentality or visual recognition of talent that they show. That's the only reason. But Devin Haney against that same level or type of fighter is a dog to slaughter. That's what he is. It is a pig to slaughter. Whatever you want to call killing, it is a very damaging opportunity on the side of Devin Haney because he is not ready or built to fight that. From what I've seen, he's not built to fight that. He ain't. And so let me see. From next week all the way to Tapora fight, every week is a banded card. Murad versus Sean O'Malley, Usman versus Buckley, Hill versus Roundtree. I didn't know that fight was happening. And Tapora versus Oliveira. That's this Saturday. Good gosh, every Saturday. Yeah, no, that's a lot. Now, granted, I understand. Don't really cover the UFC world as much, though I keep up with it. This is primarily a boxing, basketball, apparently boxing, basketball, sports channel, boxing, basketball, football. We can cover absolutely more so in the championship rounds than in the main segment of the show. But you are right. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on this weekend across all of the combat sports world. That's going to be really interesting. I mean, I want to see what Welch going to look like after his very impressive performance that he put on against Alex Pereira. Murad versus Sean O'Malley. I don't know if Sean O'Malley's going to be able to win that. Buckley versus Usman. Now, I need to see how Usman looks like now. Because one, of his knees. And two, he's lost his last 3 fights, I believe. Now, I'm not saying that's the end-all be-all, but there is a semblance that if he loses against Buckley now, we could be looking at the beginning of the end, potentially, for Usman. I don't say that often about the UFC, but if you lose now, what would that be, 4 in a row? Now, okay, starting to cycle out. It may just be because you just are age, genuinely because of age. And so, yeah. Oh, in Oliveira versus Taporia, if Oliveira gets him in a submission, Taporia's done. But getting to that submission, I'm scared for Oliveira because Taporia got some of the heaviest hands in all of the UFC. Pound for pound, that man is a puncher. That man is a banger. That brother can swat for real. Boy, if he makes it through this, Oliveira, if he's able to submit Taporia, incredibly impressive. If Taporia can knock out Oliveira, incredibly impressive itself. Both of them can beat each other's kryptonite. And if I can have Oliveira can he's not a bad striker. He is a good striker. He is a really good striker. He's a submission savant, a submission god. But good gosh, if that power lands with Taporia, brother, it's going to be a menace of a night. Mark my words. Absolutely. And so let me see. And thank you for being the guy to help kind of lay out the calendar of what's going on in the year. Brandon versus Brendan, Moore versus Stanley, Davis versus De Los Santos. That's happening this Saturday. Wardley versus Honey. Dillian White's back. I did not know Dillian White was back. My goodness. And Cambosos versus Hitchens, well, I'm not excited for that fight. But regardless of which, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we got to talk about it all. Good gosh. And this Saturday is the Keyshawn Davis card on ESPN. Yes, it is for anybody that wants to look at that, that wants to go and see it. Brian Norman versus, be on the lookout for this fight. Brian Norman versus Jen Psaki. He's right. Boys be crying. You right. Get up early. This is one of the bigger fights that you need to look out for. This is a huge fight in this division that you need to look out for and be prepared. And be prepared. Because if Norman wins this, Boots ain't too far away. He ain't. Or at least a Norman title shot. If this ain't for a title already, a Norman title shot is probably next up, and then afterwards is a Boots fight for unification. If this isn't a title fight already. This is a big fight. This is a really big fight. Be prepared for Norman versus Jen Psaki. That's going to be a good one. And it's going to be a really important one. And Billy is on an amazing, I forgot. And Billy's doing it. Wilder card next day, and then Jake Parker. Gosh, shoot, man. It's a lot. It's a bunch. It's a bunch of stuff going on all across the stuff. It is. You call a man a dog, and then I'm not saying. I'm not calling Devin Haney a dog or pig. I'm saying, like the term a lamb to a slaughter, pig to a slaughter, essentially somebody's going to die. That's the type of sentiment I have for what we see with Haney versus TEO. Because TEO is too much of a well-rounded amalgamation of talent, power, speed, and athletic ability. That you have to be real. Haney has not fought somebody like that. He hasn't. He is not. We can at least say that TEO's fought Haney's before. Sandor Martin, who was 40-1 before that fight. Jermaine Ortiz, who again fought. He still used outboxing, but was still more offensive. But again, was more so avoiding the power, using footwork, all that stuff. He's fought that before. But against people that I feel have more to offer on the offensive spectrum than what we see with Devin Haney. If you put Devin Haney in there, same footwork, but not just leagues less power, but also a fearfulness of what can come at you, that is not something I don't feel he can win when going up against this type of fighter. It's concerning. It really is. It really is. For me, it's concerning. No fights on ESPN Plus. Now I didn't know that. I did know that. Excuse me. It is on ESPN Plus. A lot of these fights are gonna be on ESPN Plus if you can watch it. If not, there's some wink. There's some sites out there if you want to go and find it. I ain't gonna give them to you because I'm not about to get anything happening with me. But if you know, you know. But regardless of which, let's see. Usman is still fighting. I fell off the UFC for the past few years. Yeah, he's still fighting. He's lost about 3 in a row, but he's still fighting, and he's still a real contender. It's just. We're starting to put a closer eye on the brother on whether or not he is indeed still at that level, or now if it's time to start, taking the chickens home to roost, starting to wrap it up, go on and roll up your bed. It's time to walk on home, potentially. Let me see. Chimaev lost. He lost against Chimaev, but was a masterclass performance. That was a good fight. It was a really good fight because I did see that fight. It was a good fight. Bucky consistently called out Usman. He has been calling out for a minute, and he might be able to beat him. He might beat him. Buckley might beat him. This Usman Buckley might beat him. He might. I love Usman. I still do love Usman. Absolutely. At his best, he was one of the best well-rounded UFC fighters of his era. When him, Adesanya, and Ngannou all were reigning as UFC champions. And he was, I believe, on the pound-for-pound list of top 3 or maybe number 1 in the world when he was at his best. Now, I don't know we'll see afterwards. Let me see. We just had El Toro was in this with Sydney's make history, and you talking about MMA. No, hold on. Now, Daniel, what's going on with this? How you doing? I got it on the top. Hold on, wait a minute now. Now, I have it on the docket. This is, again, a primarily boxing, basketball, and football segmented show. We We talk about the UFC because, again, we let the fans drive the conversation if I can talk about it. We can talk about the UFC more later on in the championship rounds at the end of the show. No question. But we know we are talking about boxing. Don't get it twisted, brother. We got the Rescindes topic that we need to talk about with Plant and Rescindes. We got Jermell Charlo and the reaction to his return. We got stuff to discuss. No. Don't get it twisted now. We can do a lot, but we still got a regimen. Stick around. You're going to be able to see everything that we discuss right here on the show. But we appreciate you tuning in, and we appreciate you listening. If you haven't already and you want to stay for all this stuff, stick around because we got a lot to talk about. And leave a like on our channel and subscribe if you haven't already, because trust and believe we got a lot to talk about. No question about it. But let me see what we had to say before I keep on going. Is that all? Let me make sure. As the first score fight I saw was De Los Santos' performance. It was 7 in the morning when they fought here. Good gosh, shoot. My goodness. My gosh, I didn't know that early over there. And so, I'm sorry you had to be early for that fight. Yeah, I am too. Is that your first time experiencing the butter? Hey, that's the issue. But we can give you a better full retrospective of what Shakur is as a fighter on this show. But again, we got to do that later on. We got to discuss more stuff on this show. But last thing with Haney versus TEO. I wanted to touch on Haney because we discussed somewhat. This may be his last opportunity if he doesn't need to get a full-blown loss in this fight as a real commodity. Because again, the tightrope that Haney has made for himself, he is a villain. People pay to hate watch him. They do. People also don't want to spend money unless it's against somebody they feel can actually beat him. This is one of those instances. But if we see him actually get beat, then now the money starts trickling away. I'm not saying he's going to lose everything. I'm not saying he's going to be a forgotten to everything. But I will say that it will incredibly hurt his stock. Because one thing that people just want to see him do is get beat up. We can't lie about that. I'm not saying I'm on one side of the fence or the other. But there is an understanding that people want to see Devin Haney get beat. Beat bad. And they don't got to worry about it no more. Even with somebody like Teofimo Lopez, who's had a recent history of just mess going on, absolutely. There is a real concern for Haney in his career as well. Because everything we said after the fight with Ramirez still bodes true now. If he loses, it is a big blow. Huge blow to his career. Point blank period. Because then the investment starts to wane. Sure, you can get a redemption story. Sure, you can get a comeback story. But people in the initial ain't going to want to see that. They're going to want to see, you fell by the wayside? Oh, well. And now we move on and do something else. That's what's going to be. But again, we can see a lot to cover on this show. Like with the Charlo return. Jermell Charlo return in his fight against the likes of let me make sure I pronounced the name correctly. Because he earned a knockout. No, Thomas Lamana. I had to make sure I said it correctly. I didn't want to misspeak. But no, Jermell Charlo getting the TKO over Thomas Lamana in his return to the ring after 3 years of abstinence. And ladies and gentlemen, hey, the brother did what he needed to do, but he did better than I ever expected him to do for his first fight back. Yes, it was against an opponent that was supposed to be beaten. Got in there to be beat, or that's the reason why he was the opponent. But even still, there was a lot of things that I did not expect Charlo to have still after this long of a layoff and with all of the personal problems that he had throughout his essentially resignation from the sport while he was away, silent. And he still kept most of his attributes. But still, one looked incredibly huge. The man looked 280. Or not 280, 180. He looked 180, though the fight was 160. That man rehydrated insanely by the time fight night came. Good gosh, that is a big cat. That's a big cat. I can't lie. But on top of just the physical ability, or the physique looking there, the jab was still there. My goodness, that jab was still there. The jab was still there. The patience seemed to be even more methodical. Seemed to be he was working to get rounds, looking to make sure he gets back in the groove. Every round of the fight, you saw him start to push on the gas a little bit more, adding another layer to his game, adding another page or taking from another page in the book of his own fighting style. Up until what was around like 7 or 8, I think it was. I can't remember when exactly he got knocked out, but up until the actual knockout or the ref stoppage, he was going his back outright, walking him down, blocking and catching punches, being incredibly cool, calm, and collected, poised inside of the ring, regardless of what LaMotta threw on him. When he got caught with shots, because LaMotta did land a couple shots on Charlo that were clean, he took them. He took them great. He took them phenomenal. It was incredible. And he answered so much stuff about what I was scared of when it comes to what his career was going to be at this point on. He's still a real contender. He's still a real contender. Jermell Charlo is still a real contender in this super middleweight division. Now, he still is a step slow. He is still getting back into the vein of everything operating seamlessly. There again, the jab is still one of the best and powerful jabs in all of boxing, but it wasn't coming out as fast as it used to. There was some hesitation on some of the shots that he was throwing that I'm normally seeing Charlo put that straight right hand to use a little more fervently, especially when he was ready to commit. Okay, boom, it's going. Held back on some occasions. Could be because he was trying to look for certain openings. Could be because he was trying to, again, get rounds and slowly pace the fight. And so he didn't want to throw everything all at once. But still, we'll see if that gets worked out as we see him back in the ring more and more. But even though there's still some stuff that he can work on, absolutely, this is a very good foundation for what we expected to see when he came back into the ring. And now, people like Janibek and others in the division, they're not too far-fetched. It's not too far off that, hey, we can see that fight happen. And also, let's not forget, now that brother's ranked number 2 by the WBA for super middleweight. Though this fight, I believe, was at middleweight. So now it's got me asking some questions that I didn't know if I wanted to ask, but need to be asked nonetheless. Are we going to see this man? Is it going to be Charlo versus Canelo down the line? Is it going to be Charlo versus Canelo down the line? Hypothetically. Because again, because he's ranked number 2 by the WBA at super middleweight. This ain't me. I'll pull it up to make sure. I'll pull it up to verify. But right now, after this fight, mind you, his first fight back. His first fight back at middleweight, 160. This man is now ranked. Oh, hold on. Okay, I thought I saw some news that somebody was coming back to the ring. I was about to be incredibly livid and also excited at the same time. There was some Tyson Fury news that came across my timeline, but my bad. It was nothing serious. But now, where's that? Let me pull it up for you right here, so you all can be able to see it. Come on. There we go. Jermell Charlo has entered the WBA super middleweight rankings at number 2 after his win versus Thomas LaMotta. He was unranked prior to Saturday. This is a real opportunity that we could see down the line. Charlo versus Canelo might be a fight that gets made. It might be a fight that gets made after the fight with Terrence Crawford. Potentially win or lose. Because it's already got the storyline back by it. Canelo dominated his brother. His brother put a bad reputation on both of their names because of that fight. Genuinely, he did. And he just went back into hiding in his own way. And they've been fighting back since. Don't know why. Don't know how. Everything seemed to be going great for Charlo. The other Charlo, his younger brother Charlo, undisputed champion Charlo, still is a dominant. He's still got business at 154, like with Bakram Murtazali, like with Tim Tszyu, like with Sebastian Fundora, like with potentially Terrence Crawford, because Crawford has said himself that he'll move back down to 154 if he beats Canelo and do it all over again and get undisputed there. His words, not mine. You can go look up the interview. He said that. I promise you. I forget who it was. It was a bald brother and a dark skinned bald brother and a light skinned brother with a Pinky Blinders cap. I think I forget what his exact hat name is. But talking to them with, and they was saying, I'll go down there and do it again. There's a lot of business. Virgil Ortiz, Belichick, there's a lot of business at 154 that we want to see Jamal Charlo get back into. But he's been dead silent. Off of all of that, and now with the seemingly expedited return to form that we're seeing Charlo have in terms of Jamal Charlo with his last fight with Thomas Lamana, this fight is possible. It's more than possible. It's likely. This fight's like they trying to set it up and make it happen. And if it does happen, oh boy, it's gonna be something insane. Mark my words. It's gonna be something ridiculous. Not yet. We're gonna talk about that yet. We're gonna talk about that fight next, the Plant fight. But real quick, keeping with this Charlo thing. But let me see what you all had to say before I continue going forward. Let's see. Y'all watching that Serrano card? I'ma try. Shoot, that card's gonna be I believe it's an all women affair. That is probably going to be the best from an action perspective. That whole card is probably going to be the best card or one of the best cards of the year. I promise you. That Serrano card, Serrano versus KT 3, that's going to be one of the best cards. I guarantee you that's going to be one of the best cards of the year from a fight perspective. People may not know all the boxers. You're going to want to know them after this card. Whole litany of them. The entire list. It's gonna be nothing but bangers. It's gonna be nothing but bangers. It's gonna be really good. And again, Boy, if you crying, you said it best. I respect Jake Paul for putting a full female card, but I'm not really interested into it. I understand. If there was any women's card to watch, this would be one of them. And I despise Jake Paul with all my being from a standpoint of what he is as a boxer and what he's done as a human being. Despicable. But if we see him putting this for women, I do love this. I give credit where credit is due. Though it doesn't abstain, or rather it doesn't wash away all the bad that he's been doing. He's good for the sport. He's also bad for the sport. And if he is really about this, he'll do this beyond his fighting days, which hopefully are sooner rather than later. Because if he keeps doing putting on cards like this, women's boxing will quickly gain some traction. They already got a list of Baumgartner already on his promotion too. So you got a cavalcade of cards that you can make within your own sect that can be incredible. Genuinely can be incredible if you commit to it. How committed is Jake Paul to consistently staying this dedicated to uplifting women's boxing on the whole, even beyond his own promotional fighters, working cross promotion with other people? We're gonna wait and see. But if there was any fight to watch on a women's card, this is the one. This is the one. I promise you, this is the one because it's gonna be great. It's going to be phenomenal. Let me see. Does the winner of Devin versus TEO fight? Does the winner of the Devin versus TEO fight go through into the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Shoot. They both might go already. It sounds insane. I know. They both might go already because Haney undisputed with wins against, again, Lomachenko, wins against Linares, wins against Ramirez, wins against, not Ryan Garcia. He got dominated through the PEDs and all that stuff. Understandable. No contest to Ryan Garcia. But, shoot. That's a good question. And in TEO, he's the highs and lows. I can't say for certain right now. I would say more likely Devin Haney would get into the Hall of Fame because he's just had more fights. I believe he's had more fights against names, again, like Lomachenko. But I almost want to say both are going to get in regardless because of this era in boxing. Both of them might, at least if there was a favorite, Devin Haney's getting in regardless. This fight could be the thing that solidifies TEO as, yeah, he's going in the hall. This could be the fight that solidifies him going into the hall. Potentially. Again, I could be completely wrong about it. I gotta think. I'll be completely honest. Definitely planning to be watching the fight the weekend. Been so busy lately. Yeah, I've been busy too, trying to see it all. Smash the like button and subscribe. Yes, please do. Please. Getting to everybody, trying to read everybody right now. But please, smash the like button. Keep on liking the stream. Keep on sharing the show. We're trying to make this the hottest show in all the globe, entertaining the masses, and we can't do it without your support. So we appreciate it so much. As I keep on reading through it, thank you, Daniel Penny, for continuing to push that sentiment. Yes, the more likes we get, the more voices can get in here. The more voices, can get in here. And the more conversation we can have, and the better this show can be, no question about it. Absolutely. Let's see, bro. Did you watch the Back to Bully versus Jerry's Falcon fight? Man, what a war. 168 heating up. Sadly, I didn't get to see that fight, and I'm mad. I'm really mad. I'm trying to go back and watch it. I really am. You ain't wrong. 168 is heating up. But I didn't get to see this fight, and I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep up with everything. I really am. Some fights fall through the cracks, sadly, with me. But I'm trying to be on top of it as much as I can. I'm going to try to go back and watch this fight. Because I heard it was phenomenal. Absolutely. And you saying this now validates it for me. But I gotta go back and see that. I can't lie. Let me see. Somebody said something about Iglesias. Iglesias fighting Skull is what I heard. Yes. From what I understand right now, that is valid. I'm not going to watch it because I can't stand William Skull. I'm going to be perfectly honest. William Skull, that fight with Canelo, put me from ever wanting to see that brother fight ever again. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be so serious. I'll keep up with it, sure. But if I miss it, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad. Just as a understandable. Let me see. Let's see. Iglesias struggling to get a fight. Same thing with Bakram. Hard punchers not getting called out much. They ain't. And again, him fighting Skull. Skull has put me off on his entire career. That I don't want to see anything he's a part of. Though I know Iglesias can knock him out. I'm frustrated. Because I'm like, man, I just don't want to watch that, but a fight like that all the time. Even if the knockout comes, the build up to getting that knockout, it's going to be like, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, what a performance. I'm going to be like, finally, he's done, and I can do away with him forever. But I know Iglesias, I got Iglesias KO on the brother. Please, KO, please. Do what I know you can do. Do what I know you can do. And put this brother out. Good gosh, please do. Please do. So not only can you get fights, but I don't got to deal with William Skull ever again. Please don't. Please make it happen so I don't got to deal with that no more. What did Jake Paul do as a human being? So Jake Paul has robbed people of money. He's robbed people of sponsors. He's been incredibly disrespectful. His rise on YouTube and beyond has been very much scummy and laden with issues and problems. Plus what he's done in the boxing ranks, going through and really with how he's going about with the sport of boxing, it is a disservice to what it's supposed to be. It's a moneymaker. It's bringing eyes on the sport, but there's also a bunch of messed up stuff that goes on behind the scenes, both with him personally and with him business-wise, that it's too much to delve into. There are hour-long documentary or think pieces, video essays you can find on YouTube right now with people that are very much in the social media space and not in the boxing space that cover everything that Jake Paul does that's just despicable. And plus, he's fighting a bunch of 58-year-olds and 40-year-olds and acting like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't respect that. I don't. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to. It's the actions I can't stand. Hence, I have my feelings, and they're justified. And so hopefully he changes. I credit the good that he's done. Doesn't sweep away the bad that not just overwhelmingly outnumbers the good that he's done, but also continues to be bad. Even now, it's not good. The more you delve into it, you'll find out. It's too much for me to say. But again, video essays on YouTube, countless articles. You can find everything. Just type in what's so bad about Jake Paul, and you'll find everything you need to know. I promise you. Yes, Calico very good. Yes, he did look very good. But if Iglesias versus Skull happens, Iglesias should be fighting for the belt at 168. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping that happens. Performance of the week is between Resendez, Yanzel, and Cole. Nah, Resendez. And we can talk about that fight right now. Let me get this last comment. Is TEO and Devin out of Top Rank because this fight is with... Hold on. Is TEO and Devin out of Top Rank because this fight is with Tank and Welch. So is TEO and Devin with the PBC? I think so. Because I think Turkey Al Sheik works with the PBC. Also, as well as Matchroom, Quisenberry, and Top Rank. So Turkey, because he works with all of them, I think this fight is under PBC, I want to say. Details, again, if they're out there, I'll find them. I haven't seen any details on that aspect yet. I'm assuming it's with the PBC. Assuming. But I could be wrong. But all of it is under the umbrella of Riyadh season. So, hence why we're getting the fight that we're getting. That's the best thing I can say. That's the most concrete thing I can say. Whatever promotion is under, it's all under Riyadh season. I would think it's with the PBC because of the beef, because of TEO and beef with Top Rank. I think even Haney's had some beef with Top Rank. Hence, PBC is probably what we're going to see happen. But I could be wrong. Understand, other people know more than me on that aspect. So please reach out to them and look to them for information. I can only give you what I know. And if what I know ain't much, it ain't much. The best thing I can say. But I have to keep on going. Let me see. Boys. What's the point of wanting no point? Are we still talking about the Iglesias with KO Skull, and that's with respect. I hope and pray that happens. Here we go. This is what I was trying to find. I always ask myself, why doesn't a boxer just stand in the middle of the ring and not move, and then not move when facing a runner? What would happen? So, how do we say this? Boxers have done that, but inevitably they have to go and get them. Now it's also up to the fighter to make sure that they fight. Again, it takes you to tango, like you saw on the on my short. Refs should sometimes do, but there should be a rule in place to make it so that they make it so that a fighter has to engage. A lot of times boxers stand in place in the center of the ring. It's because they're frustrated. More than just, their opponent isn't trying to fight. A lot of times it's because they are genuinely getting outboxed. And now they're trying to goad you into saying, come on. I mean, think about it. Canelo stood in the corner and tried to get Bebo to come in and say, come on, to fight in his domain. Bebo wasn't going to oblige. So Canelo had to go back and work his way out or work his way to come forward. It is a tactic to try to goad the opponent into doing something they don't want to do and trying to force the issue by saying, hey, stop being a punk. I get it. It doesn't always work out because of the fact that a lot of times means that they aren't able to touch the other fighter. But the other fighter is indeed boxing, not running. There's a difference. So it's level of frustration. And normally, it doesn't really work out. Also because the boxer that is running or moving like that has control of the fight. Now, sometimes, like with Canelo versus Skull, Canelo had control of the fight, and he stood in the center of the ring. Skull still didn't oblige. And so I think that's really what it comes down to. It doesn't work because the opponent doesn't come forward. It doesn't work because the opponent doesn't come forward. And you end up getting penalized because you're just standing there and not moving at all. And the other opponent is at least using the ring. And by proxy of movement, they get, some level of credit. That's why there needs to be a rule in place to make it so that running, not boxing, completely fine, running gets taken away. So you have to get some level of action going through. and truly show your skills. No question about it. So, best explanation I can give as to why that happens. Because when a boxer just stands in place, it doesn't make the other runner want to say, okay, yeah, I'm coming in to try to go and fight. It doesn't work like that. They'll still use the whole of the ring, and you'll just be standing in place. And you standing in place would lose the round potentially because you're not even trying to be aggressive. At least aggression is a criteria for what can win a round. You standing there won't work. And honestly, it rarely has worked, if ever at all. Unless you got two warriors that say, hey, we want to do a Max Holloway, point down in the center. Let's see what you got. All right, let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Now we're going for blows. It normally don't work like that. So that's why. And so, and the rest will warn the fighters. They'll warn them. Needs to be more aggressive in the warning, but regardless of which, because with Skull and Canelo, there was still some action, how minimal it was. Yeah, that's true. Skull went to the beach and stayed in the sand. Yeah, you're right. He didn't try to jump in the water. Even when Canelo, at one point in time, he did stand and be like, hey, come on. Jump in, let's see what you got. Skull still stayed on the sand and didn't jump in the water. So standing and trying to goad an opponent oftentimes doesn't work. And so it's a shame. It really is a shame that it takes place. But it's why we're trying to get the rules so this doesn't become a widespread issue. It's like baseball. It's like a baseball team just punting all game. It is. It is. It really is. And it's why it needs to be stopped before it becomes a real big problem. I fell asleep after the Bacoli fight. Well, honestly, Bacoli fight was arguably the second best fight of the night on that night outside of who was it Badu Jack? Was it the immortal Badu Jack that fought after him and gained another title? I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he does it. But if you fell asleep for the Badu Jack fight, I think that fight was on that card. If it wasn't, excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't mean to misremember. But if it was, and I believe it was, because we called that fight right here on the channel. Hey, I woke up for that fight. I tell you, that's the most consistent run I've seen in modern day boxing. I promise you, it's insane. Badu Jack keeps on winning somehow, some way. Ridiculous. But it's about to go to cruiserweight next. And potentially heavyweight. But if he wins heavyweight, if he wins at heavyweight, at what, 30-some years old? Oh, he'd be insane. It'd be insane. Everybody must put on a good show. People pay for these cards. There's even people who miss their time with their family to watch the fight or travel to watch boxing. Even young teens working minimum wage. And again, the paying customer deserves to be satisfied. All styles are great, but all styles are rooted in still a fight. You can't compromise the integrity of the sport for the safety of a win, because then everybody loses in that regard. You can't have that. And so, yeah, you don't want the fight. You can't. The sport is still entertainment. The win is the win. You need the win, absolutely. But the entertainment, you can't have a win and then rob that, because then you lose still. You still lose. Everybody loses. And again, by proxy of you winning in a manner that doesn't please the audience, you compromise the integrity of the sport. Because not only are you not fighting at your best, but you are making it so that, this is what boxing is. And it sets a bad precedent. And that's not what boxing is. It's not what boxing has ever been. It's a shame. Really, it's a shame. Badu Jack is like 42 years old now. Turkey needs to make people watch 2 or 3 times a year. And with these cards, I'm not going to lie, he's been putting on cards to get people back into boxing. He has. We can't lie. He's been making fights we've been asking for the longest time. Ain't like he ain't trying. The TEO, Haney, and Ryan card, that's a dream come true. 3 mega stars fighting on the same night. B-Ball versus Better BF, B-Ball versus Better BF 2. Now B-Ball versus Better BF 3. Working behind and getting the likes of Canelo versus Crawford actually to take place. Being a big supporter of Inoue. helping to propel him into the limelight of not just being a superstar, but consistently getting big fights like he's always been doing throughout his entire career. Heavyweight undisputed champion. Another heavyweight undisputed championship fight back to back. It ain't bad. It really ain't bad. It's just the fighters got to fight. The promoter can only do but so much. The fighters have to put on the show. They have to. And if they don't, well, again, everybody loses. Every time I have a barbecue for a big fight, every time I have a barbecue grill for a big fight, they suck. And everyone says next time, put UFC instead. And yes, this is why we are trying to get engagement as the main point of emphasis for boxing. Part of the reason why these fights of recent has sucked is because of a lack of engagement. This is why the running rule is so incredibly important. We're fine with upsets. We're fine with people who we think are going to win losing. We're fine with it. But the issue is the manner in which the fight happens is what people remember. There were people I had people watching the Tank fight with me. And this most recent fight with Welch was one of the more exciting fights they've ever seen. And it was because the action was there from both people. And they actually were trying to fight and box at the same time. Danger and skill were on a fine line. Mistakes and success were all on a razor's edge, but it was still beautiful boxing. Those are the fights that when fighters commit to that, it makes for a beautiful thing and everybody wins with it. That's why the no running rule or some sort of rule needs to be put in place to get that level of engagement up again. So we get those more consistent levels of great fights. When great fights are put together, they actually live up to the hype. Because they have the ability to. But again, it's on the fighters to make it so that it actually pays off. But don't worry. Don't worry. This next batch of boxing fights, keep on working. Or rather, keep on working that grill. Keep the coals hot. Because I guarantee you, this next from now until September, I'm almost assured, more likely than not, you're going to see a fight say, yeah, it's worth me grilling. It's worth me putting something on the grill. It's worth me going out and, hey, we about to eat in more ways than one. I promise you, both with food and with the outright ability to watch a great fight. Oh, I guarantee you, I promise you, from here on out, it's going to be nothing but fireworks. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm excited for it. Absolutely. WBC Grand Prix, June 20th, super lightweight and super middleweight, June 21st heavyweight. I love the tournaments. I do love that they brought the tournaments back. Thank gosh they brought tournaments back so we can actually get a consistent and not just a consistent cavalcade of action, but you get unlocked to new people you never heard of before. And it opens the eyes to the boxing public to maybe follow new fighters and make new stars. It's great. It's phenomenal. I hope Archibald BF wins this next one. It's a 50-50 fight for me on who wins that next one. So it's going to be, but that fight's going to be, if the first two win the indication, this third one's about to be, his third one's about to cap off one of the greatest trilogies of this era in boxing. Genuinely. And so it's going to be great. Let's see. If he manages to knock out Bebo, that would be an insane last fight. Yo, brother, if he did, it would be ridiculous. But if Bebo manages to beat Beterbiev, then Benavidez' fight would be insane. Either fight that wins, Benavidez is getting that next up. Either fight, Benavidez is getting that next fight. Either fight that wins, Benavidez is getting them. So that's the only thing. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I'm excited for more than anything. But now it's been Canelo boring fights, and lately that Times Square garbage. Yep, you right about that. And so, but we still got more to cover. We still got to talk about the upset. Hold on. Wait a minute. We still got to talk about the upset. Wait a minute. Let's keep on track now. We still got a show to do. We got to talk about Caleb Plant getting upset by Armando Vicindi in a fight that was indeed really telling for Caleb Plant. And shocking for Resende. I thought Resende would get outboxed. I thought he would. I thought he would get outboxed clean. I thought he was going to get outboxed clean. But you know what he did to make himself be able to win? Not just because of his power, but because he fought like a fighter we've seen before. He took a blueprint and a page from a brother that did it already. And it was indeed Canelo. He fought similar to Canelo. That was the closest thing I could say when I watched that fight. He fought like Canelo fought Caleb Plant. Because again, normally he's aggressive. Again, he's a power puncher. He is. He's aggressive. He's a warrior. Absolutely. He'll come in. He's got some great hooks, great shots, both body into the head. More so, he paced himself. He still fought with Caleb Plant, but he paced himself early. And then later on, after rounds, 5? He then started amping up his own pressure and amping up his offense. And Caleb Plant started going down. Caleb Plant's stamina, Caleb Plant's footwork, Caleb Plant's boxing started going down. And it started turning into a fight. But unlike with McCumbee, he wasn't able to beat Resende on the inside. And then Resende was really able to control not just the pace, but really the firepower of what does and doesn't come at him by proxy of his own power, his own aggression on the side of Caleb Plant, or on the head and body of Caleb Plant, excuse me. It was a beautiful game plan. Really was a beautiful game plan. And Resende's, another mega fight with Charlo and Plant. Another one's been blown up, but hey, like I said this months ago. Don't tell Turkey or Al Heyman or anybody else to stop making these pre-fight fights to build up hype. It's the responsibility of the fighters to actually win. Because see, here's the thing. It used to be that we got pre-fight fights for mega fights, or like we would get these, okay, after this, it's happening next. After this, it's happening next. We got those types of fights on separate cards for years. And the actual big fight would never take place. Getting one fight before the actual big fight as is concrete. You're going to get this mega fight if both of them win their next is a lot better than what it used to be. When we didn't get those fights at all, but we had tune-up fights or precursor fights or hype fights 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we never get the actual fight up until somebody finally lost or both of them were out of their prime. So I'd rather have this model and just bank on that both people are indeed as good as we think that they are. Because like I said, this whole era in boxing, to quote Showbiz, because again, he said it, not me, but it works because it's still true. It's find out season. I don't care how good we think you are, but if you are as good as you say you are, you're going to show it. You're going to show it and you're going to do it. And he did it. Or rather, Charlo did it. Plant didn't. And now we had to have a new evaluation, a new conversation. Where is Plant in his career? And more so, where did Resende's go? Because now Resende's is firmly, there's only been 2 people that beat Plant before him. Benavidez and Canelo. But you're on that list now. That says something. Plant ain't a bad fighter. He's not. You beating him is impressive. You finishing the job. Unlike what we saw McCumbee be able to do. That's impressive. No question about it. We give credit where credit is due. But that's probably upset of the year. That's probably upset of the year. You beating Caleb Plant on the same card with Charlo. You probably upset of the year, no question about it. But it still begs the question with Plant. Where are you now in your career? And I think now we're seeing this is Plant. Plant tires out late. Plant wanes as the fight gets longer and longer. Part of the issue with footwork is not that footwork is bad. It's not that boxing's bad. But it does take a lot of energy to be able to keep that up for 12 rounds. We saw Madrimov, perfect example. When he fought against Virgil Ortiz, Butter was boxing, making Madrimov or making Ortiz have to really work to track him down. But eventually, all that movement started to slow down because stamina started draining as well. the lactic acid in the muscles, the fatigue of constantly having to be able to move is something that takes a toll. And once it starts slowing down, now it becomes less effective. Once it becomes less effective, now the other opponent has the chance to now really get to you. And then you got to fight your way out. Not saying Caleb Plant can't fight. He has shown that he can. But if it comes down to that, now it's really sketchy. And for Plant, it's an Achilles heel. That's what it's an Achilles heel for Caleb Plant. If you can force Plant to really have to box and move for the first 4 rounds without taking your stamina along with him, then after rounds 5 and on, if you really up your pressure and you can sustain that, you got a real good chance at beating Plant, because he can't keep that boxing ability up for that long. It happened with Canelo. It happened with, although he was more so hurt with McCombie, but it happened with McCombie. It happened with David Benavidez. And now it happened with Resendez. It's a problem. It really is a problem. And it is a crux of Caleb Plant's game. For all of the boxing ability, which is there, he can't keep it up. And if you're able just to then walk to him, you can beat him. And with Cindy's, it was a perfect game plan. It was a picture perfect game plan. There's an argument that he should get that next fight with Charlo. There really is. There's a real good argument that he should get that next fight with Jermell Charlo, because he beat Caleb Plant. Make it happen. If I'm there, I'm making that fight happen. But most likely, we're still going to get the Charlo fight versus the likes of Plant, regardless of this fight's outcome, which now we know was a loss. Because in his own words, Jermell said he still wants that fight. Jermell still said he still wants that fight to happen. And he wants to get back. He wants to still get his revenge for the slap that happened all those years ago. And that's good. He still got the drive to say, nah, let me handle what I need to handle. He lost. It happened. I still need to get mine. And I love that fire. I love that fervor. I love that energy to want to still be able to do what you feel in your heart you need to do. Keeping to the goal. No problem with it. And the fight will still sell, because there's still a bad blood grudge match that people still want to see. So, most likely it'll still happen. But let me keep on seeing what you all have to say before I continue on. Because it's spectacular for Resendez. It is, he touched on the same thing that Benavidez and Canelo touched on, and how to beat Plant. And it worked out flawlessly. Oh, no question. It worked, no question at all. Let me see. That subject header is a cool add-on to it. Hey, appreciate it. I made it myself. Yeah, I made this myself. All this is me. Yeah, that's right. I'm speaking my mess now. All this is me, doggone it. I built this from the ground up. Ain't nobody helped me but me. You're doggone right. Yeah, we built this show brick by brick. But I was about to say something out of pocket. I was about to say. We built this show brick by brick, both legally and illegally. We made this show. Selling and creating. Yeah, we. You think? I'm kidding. But now, all this is me. I'm still trying to learn how to make all this more intuitive for you all every single show out. So, hey, anything you want to add, pointers and tips, give it to me. We'll see what you got. And we'll see what we can do to make it happen. And see, it's not a huge upset, but there is an upset. Plant got dropped by McCombie, so it's not a surprise he looks vulnerable, but many expected Plant to eventually stop receding. I think that's why. It's upset of the year, because even with what we know McCombie showed and what we saw with Caleb Plant and Canelo, McCombie more so was an outlier, because that brother, he's not a great boxer at all. But he showed that he really is one of the strongest in that division. Again, he knocked down Caleb Plant through his block to the body. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That was more so an anomaly. Oh, shoot, this power I didn't expect. Rescindies, we didn't see him having as much power as McCumbee, nor as a boxer, especially with his style. He did not show that, he can mitigate the boxing ability, the footwork, the speed, the traps that we know Caleb Plant can set, the countering that we know Caleb Plant can use, and the IQ that we know Caleb Plant has shown. We didn't see Rescindies as on that level. But clearly, we were wrong. And this brother knows what he's doing. So I think that's why I feel it's a huge upset for me. Because what we expected to come down the pipe with Charlo versus Plant, and what we knew about both of them, more specifically Plant, who's been more active, who's fought better competition, who's been a champion, we didn't see Rescindies as on that level. Hence why I think this is, for me, it's a pretty big upset in my eyes. But again, even if it's not as big of an upset to you, it's still an upset. It's still like oh shoot, I wasn't expecting it. And of what's happened this year, it's one of the biggest upsets between this fight with Plant and the fight with Ryan Garcia. It's you got an argument. You got a conversation for each one of them. You got a conversation. Probably Rolly Romero because it's more shock and awe and more bigger name. But from this ain't that far behind from what I know about both of them, talent-wise. This wasn't that far behind. I really didn't expect this to happen. I was more confident that Rolly could upset Ryan Garcia than I was that Caleb Plant could upset the likes of, or would get upset by the likes of Rescindies. That's how I felt in their skill sets. And it happened. So that's why for me, it's like, oh, shoot. I gotta think about this. This is it for me. For me. I won't speak for everybody. For me, it's a huge upset. You heard what Caleb Plant's coach said? He said, go low if you need to. Good gosh. Oh, I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. That warning about the headbutt was not right, and the ref never warned Plant for excessive holding. Was there headbutting in there? You know what? I won't speak on it. I'll go back and I'll watch it again. I'll go back and I'll watch it again and see if there's headbutting or anything like that. I'm not trying to be oblivious. Let me make sure. I know there was some headbutting, but due to the nature of how Rescindy was fighting, not necessarily intentional. But I could be wrong, because maybe I misinterpreted wrong. I'll go back and I'll watch the fight. I thought Rescindy was too small for 168 and Plant would jab, clinch, run to victory. So glad I was wrong. Hey, see? Again, another reason why upset occurred. Brother, what could we do to get rid of that judge who gave the fight to Plant? In what universe was that? See, that was wrong. It should have been unanimous decision. It should have been. We should not be surprised at judging being this egregious. This should have been a unanimous decision for Rescindies. After round 5, he won every round. Or shoot, after round 4, excuse me. You can argue this brother won every single round, at least for me. That was from that point on. It was his to control, and it was playing catch up by about rounds 10. And so I'm thinking, man, I don't know how it got. We've seen so many times that judging is so bad. Every judge has their own different criteria. I get that, but there's still a difference in a criteria and consistency, and this consistency is wrong. Because it's so inadequate. It's so up and down. It really is a pain. It really, genuinely, it's a pain. He's known as bad. I didn't know that. I did not know that. And so, I didn't know that he had a reputation. Well, if so, he shouldn't be judging. He shouldn't be a judge. If people got a reputation like this, he shouldn't be a judge. And so it really is hard. It really is bad. But let me see. We still got people commenting on Berlanga just beat Plant and Berlanga beats Plant and Munguia, especially if we can see the improvements Berlanga made after the Canelo fight. Didn't saw him through the first. Hold on. Berlanga beats Plant and Munguia especially if we see the improvements Berlanga made after that Canelo fight. Didn't saw him go through rounds right only like one or two. The brother that he beat after his fight with Canelo was indeed a tomato can. It was not impressive at all. I still haven't seen any real improvement from the likes of Berlanga. He showed if he fights up to the level that he fought against Canelo, because he made that a good fight. Let's be real. He made that a good fight, which I wasn't expecting. Then, yeah, we can have that happen. But now, it's still unknown because there's no consistency in those performances against respectable opponents. Because Berlanga should not be going backwards this much, fighting. I can't even remember the brother that he fought. But with all due respect, he was a bump. In respect to where Berlanga is at this point in time in his career, he's a bump in that regard, that he should not be fighting. He handled his business, absolutely, but it's nowhere close to a level of impressive performance that we can dictate and say, yep, see, this Berlanga is real. We can't. Because we haven't seen the brother do it against a relatively competent opponent outside of Canelo, where we're saying, hey, that was a good performance. I need to see post-Canelo Berlanga be the same Berlanga that we saw against Canelo, but against competition that actually are a good barometer, that the skill set is indeed constant. Because right now, I don't see it. I really don't see it. Did you hear that Sean Porter got thoughts on that issue? I did not hear what Sean Porter had to say, so I do not know. Let's see if I have something similar with who's fighting for commentary. You can most likely, easy though. Let me see. Keep reading. I did not see what Porter said. I think I did see what Fight Hype said, but again, let's see, boys, if it happens, I bet you 50 Munguia beats, look, if Munguia beats Berlanga after, well, Munguia is right now on what? Munguia is on he's popping right now. At this point, literally, he's popping. So he might, not just with his name, but with his actual drugs. So shoot, if he's on that, yeah, he might just beat him. He might just beat him. But even baseline Munguia right now, I think Berlanga, if Berlanga's fighting like he did against Canelo, Berlanga beats him. He does. He indeed does. Let's see, his upset of the year, yes, but I didn't expect Frank to remain number one. Upset of the year. If Usyk loses, that would be a huge upset. Oh no, if Dubois beats Usyk, that's a given. If Dubois beats Usyk this year, it's going to be one of the greatest comebacks. It's going to be one of the greatest comeback stories of the past 25 years. One of the greatest comeback stories of the past 20 to 25 years. If Dubois, after the depths of despair that he was in, when he lost to Joe Joyce, when he lost to Usyk, and when he almost lost again the third time to another brother that should have been handled easy. Questions all surrounding that brother. He comes back and he knocks out Miller, knocks out Hrgovic, knocks out Joshua, and then knocks out Usyk. Usyk, who just beat Tyson Fury twice. Outboxed and outright beat. Nah, that's insane. That's ridiculous. He would have overachieved the hype that he got when he was coming in on what we thought he could be. And we were saying we just said that Dubois could be a future champion when he was coming into the sport. Beating Usyk overachieved everything that we thought this brother could be. Even when he was at his best before the decline at that point in time, before the resurgence that we see right now. That would be ridiculous if that happens. Absolutely. Absolutely. But let me see. Let me keep on reading. I gotta make sure that I'm not missing anybody on the chat. Let me keep going. Somebody is. I'm gonna jump down a little bit more so I can make sure I get it. Aaron, what's good? What's going on, brother? How you doing? Appreciate you coming into the show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not trying to skip you. I'm trying to scroll through. We got people chatting. I'm trying to make sure I read everybody, and I'm trying to do my best to talk and read. So excuse me. Berlanga got cracks. He does have cracks. We need to see if he will indeed fix them against an opponent that is actually worth fighting. Ain't even got to be a champion, but somebody worthwhile to give a stamp of approval beyond Canelo that, yeah, you are indeed the fighter that you showed on that one night. Because right now, his latest performance is a 1-round to 2-round KO against a bum. With all due respect, a bum that didn't really prove anything. Outside of you got power. We know you got power. Your whole hype was built on your power early in your career. And then you couldn't stop anybody. And all your wins were bad wins. We covered it. I remember it. We talked about it on the show multiple times. I've tracked your rise up until Canelo. It has been very much lackluster. Canelo was supposed to be a bright spot to make something better. Now, where's the better? That's what we're looking for. Only reason why scorecards were so messed up is the judges were watching the fight from a bad place and not from a monitor. That does take into account, because I have now gotten a better understanding of what it's like to judge a fight. Understanding where they sit. It ain't always a good vantage point. It really ain't. So it could tell a different story for a different side. I'm surprised they don't have monitors to watch the fight from, or a better vantage point in the ring or around the ring to be able to see the fight more clearly. I'm surprised at that being the case. Let me see, that Chavez fight will be amazing. I'm excited for that fight. That's going to be the real litmus test that we're waiting on. This is the litmus test for both of them. Because Chavez lost to Adames. He lost to Carlos Adames, no question. We watched that fight live here. He lost that fight. Absolutely. He lost that fight. Now going up and fighting against Berlanga. Berlanga, this is your time to, hey, budding star. You being your rising star in your own right. If you are what we think you are, you should be able to beat the likes of Chavez. If you are what we think you are with what you showed against Canelo, you should be able to beat Chavez. If not, you don't get knocked out. Plant 2 years ago blitzed Berlanga, but now the field is even. I rock with Plant too, but his legs look worn out. His legs just can't sustain moving from pressure for oh so long. He's willing to fight, and he'll make a great fight. But the main part of his offense, he cannot keep up. That's the crux of his whole style. He's a great slick boxer who can pot shot you, counter you, do all that stuff. But the issue is he can't keep that up for more than 8 rounds. It's the same issue with Madrimov. Madrimov cannot bounce around like he does for more than 6 to 7 rounds before then he starts to wane. Because it's a lot of energy to box like that. It's hard. It is really hard. It's a lot of talent, but it's incredibly hard to be on your toes, constantly moving, constantly repositioning, jabbing and throwing. It ain't easy. It's not. And that's part of Plant's talent, and also it's part of his problem. Because once that wears down, now you have to fight. And Caleb Plant is more than happy to fight. I've never questioned the heart or will or style of Plant. Because even as a mover, this brother will lay down with you. He'll rock with you. He will go to war with you. But up until a certain point, he doesn't have the ability to win that war. Once his legs go away. If you're as inexperienced as McCumbee was, you can beat him. Or excuse me, Plant can beat him. But once you get to knowing how to fight on the inside, when the fight gets forced on the inside, even though Caleb Plant is good, he's not that good. That's not his forte. That's just an aspect that he can use. It's a layer to his game, but it's not his game. And because it's not his game, it is not nearly utilized, let alone honed as a skill set he can rely on. So now we see this man potentially turn over into a bad situation. Because now you're going to fight with me, but you can't keep up with me. Because now you're in my domain. And I rule if I'm Caleb Plant's opponent. At least at this contending level. That's where the issue becomes. If he can fix that, we got a conversation now. But right now, that feels like he will never be able to fix it just because, 1, age keeps on catching up, and 2, ain't got a whole lot of pop in his punches, and 3, he gets beaten because people are better than him once they get into close range, more often than not, at this contending elite level. And without his legs, he becomes a game fighter, but he doesn't become a great fighter. Or he devolves. If anybody plays Pokemon, he devolves. He doesn't evolve into something better. He devolves into something worse. It's not bad, the de-evolution, but it's worse than what he is at his best. It's a secondary game plan that you use to break the glass in case of emergencies. If I'm in a position where I gotta fight, okay, I know what to do, but I can't do it better than other people. Especially now that the blueprint of how to beat me in the inside has been done twice by the likes of Canelo and David Benavidez. And you don't gotta be as good as them to still do what they did against Plant. That's the problem. At least with Plant anyway. And so you're not wrong. If Berlanga beats Chavez, would you say he beats Plant and Munguia? Yes, absolutely. No question. No, if he beats Chavez, he beats Caleb Plant. If he beats Chavez, he beats Caleb Plant. Because to beat Chavez, you got to get on the inside and be able to fight well while you're there. And also avoid that big right hand he likes to throw and that big jab. He's a big brother. That means you can get on the inside, though he ain't got great footwork. You can do that against him. And you can do what you did against Canelo. You can knock out Munguia and Plant. You got the power to knock out Plant. You definitely got the power to knock out Munguia. And now you're showing that once you get within range, you are better than them. And this would be the confidence I need to say, yeah, he can beat him. He would beat him if he beats Chavez. If. It's a big if, though. It's a big if, though. It's set in stone. It's a big if. Berlanga dog walks Munguia. I want to say yes, but I can't for certain until we see him fight against Chavez. That's going to be my litmus test. That's going to be my litmus test to see what goes on. I promise you. Let me see. Berlanga's on upward swing. No question about it. Aaron, he definitely is. Dubois' team will take elements from Chisora. Fight with Usyk said was his hardest fight. They absolutely will. And I hope and pray that we see Daniel Dubois fight in a similar vein that we saw with Anthony Joshua. You will not be able to outthink Usyk. You can't. But what you can do is force a fight and make him work. And you did that, and it has some level of success against the likes of Usyk. It did. It did. You can call it low or not. He got to the body and landed a punch that Usyk wasn't prepared for. It was low. I've been on the fence for a while. I've even said it was clean earlier. It was low. I'll give it to you. It was low. But still, he caught him where Usyk wasn't able to defend at all because of the pressure. It's possible that he can win. It is. Oh, it's right there. It's right there that we can see an upset happen. It is more likely than we think. It's more likely than you may expect that we can see an upset happen with Dubois versus Usyk. I promise you. I'm telling you, don't let the grandeur of Usyk, though he's the best at the division, no question. Pound for pound, top 3, no question. But don't overlook the rise of Dubois, because this Dubois has the mentality that matches his physique and fighting style in perfect harmony. That is a style and mental state that can affect and beat the likes of Usyk. It can't. I'm telling you it can't. As unlikely as it may sound, it can't. I promise you it can. We're going to break the fight down later on. Absolutely. But I promise you it can happen. I'm telling you, he's going to come back stronger, just like what Triple D did, just like Canelo did versus Triple G after he popped. We're going to see. That's the thing. We are definitely going to see. I like Berlanga for entertainment, though. Yep, absolutely. Good points. Welch, I appreciate you agreeing with me. Teach, what's good, brother? How you doing? Thanks for tuning into the show. I've started back on One Piece. On my episode 654, Just Rosa just got understood or just learned about Don Flamingo and his history with the the world, is it the World Council? Or with the Celestial Dragons and all that stuff. I'm there now. I'm very intrigued. Oh gosh, I'm intrigued. And plus, I'm not gonna lie, that brother, he's cool. Hey, teach. I'm back on my One Piece journey. Don Flamingo, yo, he one of the ones. He's sadistic, but he one of the ones. I can't lie. But let me see. Do you also do commentary when you watch fights? Absolutely. Oh yeah. When I'm able to, we do live commentaries right here on the show. It's one of the best ways to get watch time right here on the channel. And when I can get watch time, boom, I can get paid because then I can get some moolah from super chats from you all if you want to. Not going to try to, grab you and say, do it or else. I ain't going to try to do that. But if you're deeming worthy that, hey, this show should be supported, once we get monetization on the YouTube channel, y'all can send super chats and all this stuff, stickers and whatnot, and then boom, we can make it happen. But regardless of which, we do live fight commentaries on most of the major fights that happen in the boxing world. Just about, not every fight. I can't do everyone. At least not right now. Not right now. News coming soon, potentially down the line. But not right now. But most of them big ones, we announce when we're going to do it. Absolutely. In fact, well, let me hold up. I'll hold off on that up until we got some concrete information. But yeah, we normally do it right here. And they're very fun. Continue the conversation. Live fight stuff. If you're driving, you can listen to it. If you're watching, you can listen to me. And hey, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I do enjoy it. Absolutely. Would be cool to see later on your predictions of the Grand Prix, of course, when it's when it nearly starts, since we got like 2.5 weeks ago. Yeah, we do got a minute to go with that. If I can get my predictions, if the boxing will give me some, if the sports will give me some time, because there's a lot of fights in that Grand Prix. There's a lot of fights in that Grand Prix. I got some time. I can do my best to give it. If I'm wrong, hey, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Please don't shoot the messenger, because I'm just trying to give you my best takes. But yeah, Usyk may got PTSD from the body, whether it's a body shot or low blow, and Dubois can use it to his advantage. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. Peace, y'all. Love the channel and love the fans. Like, hey, man, Aaron, glad that you came through. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate it. And if you got to go, you got to go. I completely get it. We love you. We appreciate it. We're glad that you're here. Come back anytime if you can. Leave a like before you leave. Oh, we still got more stuff to talk about on this show. I almost forgot. Hold on. Let me read these last two, and then we got to go. When you do the commentary, would be cool if you could make a short post about it and add some hashtags relevant to the fight you're commentating, and it would do some numbers. I try to do that before and then after. Honestly, I try to do that for all my shorts content. I've been trying to retool how I do shorts. Hence why you haven't seen them as consistently as we normally put them out. Because again, it's just me doing it. It's a one-man team. I'm doing all this editing. Whatever you see on the screen, whatever you see with how the chat works, whatever you see with the titles, thumbnail, I am doing all of this. I am doing all of this by myself. So I'm doing the best I can to be as timely with all my posts. But we'll try to do it. I try. I really do try. And so that's the best thing I say. I really do try. If you want to blow up, cut your reaction to a fight and put that on a short, with the moment something happened in a fight. I do that. Most recently, I did it with the Inoue fight when Inoue knocked out Cardenas in one of the best fights of the year. And a fight that I had been hyping up and I was excited for. And then boom, I've been an Inoue fan since the start of this channel. Oh, he's my favorite fighter right now. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time, period. Regardless of rank, I don't care where you put him. He's him and Joe Frazier, my two favorite fighters I've ever seen in history. And Roy Jones Jr. And I'm telling you, I did it. I posted it. He got like, 1,000, and it stopped. And then the biggest thing I did was Nick Ball versus Inoue. What would happen? It was like a 40-second short. 36,000, like 40-something thousand views. And I never got back close to that again. And I'm trying to figure out what I did. I really am. I tried the formula. I copied the hashtag. I did it all. I don't know what made that blow up, but the other stuff not. But either way, we're going to fix it. We're going to make it happen. We're going to still grow, regardless of which. It's going to happen. Oh, I guarantee you. We're going to explode regardless. We're going to explode regardless. Because we are the best community in all of not just boxing, but in all of the sports media landscape. You can't get no better than right here, and you can't get a better community than this empire, which is the Welch Report. No question about it. But again, we still have, let me make sure we get to, okay, yeah. I'm still trying to make sure that we got, have we covered everything that I was supposed to cover to start off this show? Yes, we have, and now we can go into the favorite part of the show, which is a user-controlled fan experience, which is the championship rounds. That's right. Yes, sir. It's time to work. It's time to grind. It's time for you to shine. We're at the part of the segment. We got 15 to 30 minutes. Make the show you on of whatever you want to discuss in the landscape of boxing, NBA, NFL, football, all of that, sports, movies, TV, beyond, video games. If you want to talk about it, we can be about it, and we can discuss it all right here on the show. Get your comments, get your debates together, put whatever you want in the chat. You all now drive this last half hour of the show to be whatever you want it to be. Absolutely. And while you're getting your questions together, we still got more stuff that we can talk about as to wet the palate while you're getting your own comments and stuff ready to be typed. We can talk about the NBA Finals real quick as we got the Patriots and OKC officially going down this week. It's happening. It's official. The Knicks got bounced. My gosh. Oh, it's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. But now we get to see, even though they had to be sacrificed for the greater good, we now get to see OKC and Pacers, two of some of the most high-profile offenses in the league, go at it. I understand it's not a big market. I understand many people may not care about Indiana. And there are a lot of fans for OKC, but not nearly as much as it used to be in their heyday. But I promise you, you're going to want to tune into this finals. It's going to be one of the biggest action-packed and knockdown, drag-out brawls from an offensive standpoint. Now, I got OKC winning in 5. Let's be real. I got them winning in 5. But I guarantee you, in those 5 games, you're going to see 120 to 115, 130 to 135. It's probably going to be an overtime game in between as well. The biggest difference maker is going to be OKC's defense. If they can stifle the consistent popcorn level shooting that they're able to do from the standpoint of anybody at any given point in time can get 30 on the Pacers. Whether it's Halliburton, TJ McConnell, Nembhard, Naismith, Pascal Siakam, doesn't matter. All of them can go for broke and absolutely explode on any given night if one person slacks off. But with the collective defense that OKC has, one of the best defenses that we've seen in NBA history, this team's going to be able to stop that offense, maybe not in its tracks, but they'll get them getting into some cold streaks. And more importantly, when the Pacers try to run the fast break, they'll be able to stop it more consistently. Points off of turnovers won't be nearly as egregious as it's been for all of these playoffs, I promise you. And we're going to see the likes of SGA not just go for 30, but make it so that the pace of play for the Pacers now starts to slow down. On top of the defense, because now people are in foul trouble. Now people are scared to be defensive and be more physical. Though these playoffs as a whole have been able to be physical in a manner that we haven't seen in a mighty long time, which I love. But you negate the mentality to want to be aggressive. You negate the mentality of the Pacers as a whole. And now they can't press like they did against the likes of New York. They can't double up like they did against Cleveland. They can't swarm and be a bunch of bees buzzing around the court like they were against in the first round. Like they were against Boston. I'm telling you. Oh, excuse me, not Boston. New York played against Boston. My bad. I forget who the Patriots played in the first round. But same sentiment applies. They are a menace. But their menace is going to be dealt with in 5. I promise you. Mark my words. We're going to see. OKC versus Pacers. I got OKC with the SGA winning the finals. I got it the same thing. Knicks got bounced, but still a good year. It was overachieved. And be on the lookout. A move might be coming. That might have OKC, or a move might be coming that might have KD going to New York. It's a rumor. They want it big. And they might be looking at Karl Anthony Towns. And they might get KD over to New York. And if that happens, Oh, that's going to be insane. That's going to be insane. PC, you Saturday or Friday, when you go live, I will be giving a breakdown. I will give a breakdown of the Keyshawn card around that time. Okay, great. Also, we're going to be here on Thursday, too. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you got 3 opportunities to be able to see us on the show. And we'll give you an update on what we're going to do this weekend for the Keyshawn Davis card. Because I do want to see that card. The whole week, the entire weekend. We're going to give you an update on what we're going to do with that. We might have some news. Can't say for certain. Can't say for certain we'll be able to stream it. But we might be able to stream it and do a live fight commentary for that card this weekend. All the cards this weekend. It's going to be exciting. Let's see. Bars Pac-Man Conference in an hour and 20 minutes, by the way. Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I almost got it. Appreciate it. Boys Be Quiet, thanks for letting me know. I do appreciate that. Since you got to go, I won't hold you up, but we appreciate you giving me the update. I'll be sure to watch it, or if something goes up and I can't get it, I'll rewatch it on the replay. Should be fun to see the insights of more so Pacquiao than Barrios. Because Pacquiao, brother, I don't know what you're thinking. I really don't know what you're thinking. It's not that I don't think you can, but I don't know where your legs are. And you may feel that you're back. You still got the fire, but does your body have the ability? Can the wood still burn, even though you can still make a spark? That's the question when it comes to Pacquiao. Wood is your legs. If you ain't got wood, no matter how much you got a spark, how much you got the desire to make a fire, that spark ain't gonna catch on nothing because the wood is either wet or non-existent. Right now, the last time we saw Pacquiao, he had wet legs and he wasn't able to move. He was stuck in the mud. He said to himself, 6 years removed without boxing, like consistently boxing. Yes, exhibitions, but consistently boxing and getting caught by people that you were fighting with in those exhibitions, excuse me, because those were real fights. It didn't count, but they were real fights. Can your body handle what your mind wants to do? Is the mind willing, but is the body weak? That's the question. That's the man. Pacquiao ain't back. He just needs a back. Potentially. But and again, we've seen crazier instances. We've seen George Foreman come back after 15 years and win a fight. Any fight. Let alone becoming a world heavyweight champion. But the way that he did it was a process of growth and fighting bombs and tomato cans for multiple years before getting back into, okay, I'm ready for a championship contender. It was a minute. Pacquiao's jumping right into this from the jump without any sort of leeway. Even Tim Tszyu, who we've been saying we want to see in a title shot soon, even he took a tune-up fight before getting back into the fray of getting into a major fight, which he's looking to get with Tim Tszyu, which now is Sebastian Fedor, but still, he wants to get back into the title picture. But even he had a fight before coming back full force into the confines of real contendership. Pacquiao was jumping right into the fray, naked, butt naked, from 6 years off. I just don't know. I just don't know. But let me see. Tim Tszyu versus looking the most forward, to Tim Tszyu versus Fundora 2. Fun to see Figueroa get back in the mix, and I might be the only one, but I dislike the Pitbull fight. What? Wait a minute. What? You just like that fight? Wait a second. Hold on. I know you gotta go, but wait a minute. Real quick, Albert, let me read your comment. Right, Foreman fought for years before he got that title shot against Michael Moore. And even before that, even earlier, it was against, who was it? Evander Holyfield. And then Tommy the Duke Morrison. And so it was like, and even then, Muhammad Al-Qazi, that level of competition, even before Michael Moore, came up before the likes of the fight with Michael Moore in the Ultimate Championship that he won. It's hard to come back straight and be back like you were. Pacquiao may say that he's back, but prime Pacquiao mentally may be there. Physically, I don't think he's gonna be there. I don't think so. I agree with you. I absolutely do agree with you. But let me see. But back to this thing. Brother, what do you mean? What do you mean you're not excited for this? Do we forget what that fight with Isaac Cruz was last time out? I mean, let me pull it up to make sure. Let me make sure that it's the buddy I'm thinking of. Isaac Cruz. That's what I thought. Isaac Cruz versus Angel Fierro. That fight was that fight nearly stole the show of Benavidez versus Morrell. And that fight was incredible. Brother, are you kidding me? Like, now, again, I get your preference. But it's like, it worked so well. It didn't work so well. It worked so well. Listen, I like the brawling style, but need some more creativity with it like Brian Norman Jr. or even a Yaninzel Hernandez, who switched it up. I get it. And so, Isaac Cruz is a one-dimensional fighter. I completely understand. If he had any level of head movement, a semblance of a peekaboo style, with already the high guard and all being a short fighter, he would be so dangerous for the entirety of 140 or 135 or 130. Even a rematch with Tank. Brother, he's more dangerous than if he learns that. But even with him being one-dimensional, brother, you never are tired of watching that brother. You're never tired of watching him. And the brother he's up against gave him such a good war. It was a controversial win, even with it being a win. And it was because both of them were throwing bangers, left, right, and center. Like, I don't, that fight, it's not pretty, but my gosh, is it effective. And I'm so excited that fight's happening. I'm so happy that fight is one of my fights that I'm like, shoot, my gosh, I'm waiting for that fight. On top of Usyk Dubois, on top of Archie Beterbiev versus Bivol, Canelo versus Crawford, Tank versus Welch. This fight's one of the fights I've been waiting to see. The second it got announced, it's been on my high priority list. And I'm sorry. I understand it. I just gotta disagree. Cause shoot, man, that fight, if there was any fight, like you want to talk about putting stuff on the grill, like we said earlier, brother, that fight as your co-main, oh, it'll make the night. It'll make the night. It will most likely steal the show. It'll most likely steal. That would be my main event, if I'm being completely honest. I'd make that a main event just by proxy of excitement and energy. Because you know that somebody's either going down or you're going to get a war, an outright war. A one-dimensional, come forward, knock down, drag out, slobber knocker that just will not relent. I dare say, I wish they made that fight 15 rounds just for the sake of making it so the fight goes longer because it's so exciting. But for the being in the ring, I'll still watch the fight though, no doubt. People are a great fighter and it has been, and it has been real. He has. Fierro, excuse me, is a perfect opponent. He's a perfect opponent. He is a perfect opponent because he just won't back up either. And he'll land stuff. He'll land a lot of stuff. He almost landed something that made me think that Isak may be hurt. Which, oh shoot. Actually, scratch that. He did hurt Isak. That's the thing. He hurt Isaac Cruz a couple times in this fight. The first time they fought. Second time, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Shoot. I wouldn't be surprised if people potentially, they watch that fight, then they watch the Pacquiao fight, and the Pacquiao fight is in any way close to not competitive, they'll just tune out. Because they'll be like, hey, I saw the main event already. I guarantee that's what it can be like sometimes. But I'm incredibly excited for that fight. I can't lie. I can't lie. There's some bias there. I'm very excited for that fight. Because that's gonna be a war. That's gonna be a really good war. But is there anything else anybody wants to say. We still got time. We still got roughly 10 minutes. If anybody wants anything to say, any other comments, concerns, questions, debates, dream fights and conversations, predictions with the NBA Finals on your own vein, is there going to be a difference maker? Do you think it'll go to 6 or 7? What if the Pacers do beat OKC? Even if the Pacers lose, if Halliburton has a great series going up against and potentially outplaying the current MVP of the league, is that enough to finally make people call him a superstar? Even though people have been trying to say that Halliburton is not a superstar. In my estimation, Halliburton is a superstar. It's just on the lower level. He has been producing consistently for the past 3 years. He has elevated ever since he got to the Sacramento. And then when he got traded, he blossomed from there. He has been one of the best passers of the entire league. Genuinely. From a production standpoint, might not look as pretty, but from a production standpoint as a playmaker, he's been so far and away at the top. Maybe not head and shoulders, because again, you still got Jokic. Understandable. And LeBron's still one of the best playmakers that we have in the world right now. But still, he is one of the ones. And every single playoff stint that he's been in has been a consistent level of leadership, domination, high-profile games, high-profile performances, and a very stable consistency in his own individual production. Yes, he has some bad games, I understand, like in these playoffs. I get it. But on the whole, butter ain't shrunk when it's time to play. Just like with Jaylen Brown. Or excuse me, just like with Jalen Brunson. And we love Jalen Brunson. Halliburton is one of them ones too. He's not a high caliber superstar, but he still deserves the moniker of being a superstar. He absolutely does. And so, but let me keep on reading to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Is there anything else anybody needs to say? We still got time. Is there anything else anybody wants to say? We are, how much time we been on the street? We are at 3:13. What's that, about 3:13? We started at about 1:57. We got roughly 2 minutes. Anything else anybody wants to say? Any other questions or debates? Any comments or concerns? Anything? Oh, almost forgot. Well, actually, we'll save talking about this weekend's fights for Thursday. Because tail end of the show, also there's a couple of things I want to look up for the fight with De Los Santos versus Keyshawn Davis before I give a full breakdown and stuff. We're going to break down these fights that are coming up this weekend. Keyshawn Davis versus De Los Santos, Nakatani versus Nishida, Apataya in this fight, Fabio Warley in this fight, because guys, hold on, fight this weekend. My goodness, it's a stacked level of events and more. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. And then subsequently on Friday, have more debate and conversation about just the whole with you all driving the force. But if nobody else has anything that they need to say, I think we can wrap it up and send it home because it's been a phenomenal show. So with all that being said, this has been another episode of The Watch Report with me, yo, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We appreciate your time, your energy, your effort, and your drive to help making sure the best that it can be. Be sure to leave a like on the stream before you go. Comment your thoughts and opinions on whatever you have, what you liked, what you didn't like, all the grandeur of the moment that we had on this show. It's been a phenomenal way to start off the week or to help propel you further into the week. And we have more to cover as the week goes on, no question about it. Leave a like on the stream, comment your thoughts and opinions on what you liked about the show or what you didn't like, just debating or whatever. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know what we got going on every time we post on this show, and share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep building up this empire together. I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Thursday.